Hey guys, it's Ed with BackProp, and I'm here to tell you guys about a brand new indoor add-on for your backprop. It's called WallProp, and this will add stability to your backdrop when you set up inside against the wall, because we all know what happens when you put this up against the wall. Even if you tape it down, these things move a lot. Now the problem is there's only support at the bottom here with these bases, and what usually happens is when somebody is standing here and accidentally leans backwards and they feel that little tilt, they end up falling backwards and the backdrop goes back against the wall, can possibly damage the wall. And what usually happens is down here this little pin gets snapped off or bent. As I already mentioned, WallProp is an addition to BackProp, and you will need poles A, B, C, E, and F, as well as your left and right side grips. And included with WallProp, you will get a banner for the top of your backdrop. I won't be able to set that up because I am demoing this in a basement, so I don't have the extra room to set that up, and many of you may not want to use that. That's perfectly okay. That's not part of the effectiveness of WallProp. It's just an additional security. But you will get the 90-degree elbows and the padded rollers, as well as a special tension cord, 2 shorter poles labeled S and 1 even shorter labeled X. This is for the 7.6 foot version. The 8-foot version will have 3 S poles and an X8 short extension. And also, I do apologize, I don't have my own WallProp properly labeled, so I did use a Sharpie to label those poles here for the video. And now guys, I'm going to run through the setup very quickly. You're simply going to take the A pole, plug it into B, into C, skip over to E, and then F. So we now have one long pole, and we're going to grab the X pole and simply put that right on the end there. This will provide 7.6 foot width. If you have an 8-foot backdrop, there will be an additional S pole, and the S stands for side. You'll see those in a minute. There will be an additional S pole that would go on here, and then an X8, which is a very short piece, would slide into the end of that, making that your 8-foot width. Now before you add your elbows, you want to take the padded rollers and slide them over the long length of pole and space them out evenly on the pole, all 4 of them. Alright, so next we're going to take one of these 90-degree elbows, and you want the padded portion to slip on to the end of the pole here. We're going to do the same thing with the opposite side. Next, you'll take the poles labeled S and put those in the other opening on those elbows. Next, you'll need your padded grips, and one is going to go into that S pole on each side. By the way guys, this whole process can be done on the backdrop. I only did this on the floor so you guys could see what I was doing and I could film it at the same time. This can be done a lot faster if you attach your side grips first, add the S poles, and then the length of the pole with the elbows last. Alright, let me show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. Side grip, you have to pick where you're going to put it too. So if you've got something behind your backdrop, you definitely don't want to hit that. Let's say that was a window or perhaps a painting that stuck out a few inches. The WallProp can be adjusted to different heights, so you can put it up high, you can put it down low. Just remember this is at a 45-degree angle, and your WallProp will probably sit at this point up here against the wall. In this case, I've gone down a little bit lower so that when we attach our back piece, it's not going to hit the painting in the back. Next, take your pull labeled S and slip that right in there, like so. Notice that there are no lock pins on this. That's because this entire system is set up using tension. Now we're going to do the same exact thing on the other side. And if you want to save time, by the way, you can put your S-pull in to begin with. We're going to try and get that set about the same height. All right, that looks pretty good. And then you're going to want to pull the backdrop away from the wall a little bit. And then we're going to take our long pull with the elbow already attached. And we're going to put it right on here, like so. Head over to the other side and put it on there as well. And now you guys can kind of see what we're looking at. Now the next step is a little bit tricky, but I want to show this to you because I had a few people who weren't quite sure how this worked. All right, so next we want our tension cord, and real quick note, the 7.6 has a gray knot cover. The 8-foot has a black knot cover. These are not interchangeable with the tension cord that comes with your back prop. These are specific to WallProp, so you want to make sure you use the right one. There's a reason why you're going to see right now. All right, so our tension cord is a giant loop. And what we're going to do is we're going to go through each one of these hooks here. And if I come up a little bit, you'll see we're making a big giant loop here. We're going through each hook. And we're going to go down to the other end now. So you'll bring this down here. We're stretching it out as we go. Come down here. Go through this one. Come down to the other end. And then finally to our last one right here. And we have made a giant loop. And that is what provides the tension to hold these on the sides here and to keep this from coming off the back. And now, as you guys can see, it's solid up against the wall. And what happens is as somebody leans into this, this provides some stability against the wall, even up here into this higher range. Most people are going to hit it about the halfway point, so I don't recommend putting it much lower than the halfway point, this bar. The other part can go a little bit lower, but this bar that leans up against the wall, I don't recommend putting that any lower than about the halfway point on your backdrop. And you'll notice that we've also avoided the picture that's hanging there. We haven't hit that. If that was a window, it would be out of the way. You can put it up higher as well. You can go all the way up. I've actually had to go over a door sill before. Not too long ago, I did a cruise where we did a photo booth on, and I had to set this thing up above a doorway, so we had it almost at the very top. I mean, I think we had it hooked up here, and it was up almost above the backdrop. So it does have the padding, and you're not going to damage the walls of the venue. Another thing you do have to do, I don't have it done here, I don't have any gaff tape on me. I recommend putting some gaff tape on your base plates down here at the bottom. Put some gaff tape or at least some weights, something to keep those from moving. You don't want those slipping and sliding. Most people do that anyway, especially if you're on a tile floor or ceramic floor or something like that, marble. You don't want that moving around when your guests are at your photo booth. And one last thing I wanted to show is the banner. This is completely optional. A lot of people do not want to use this, but you're welcome to. It is another deterrent to help people from leaning against your backdrop. And it simply attaches using these 3 little grips and some Velcro, and you simply attach the banner to the top. Obviously this will not fit in the basement here, so I've got this leaning so I can show you guys. So guys, that's it. That's pretty much all you need to know about WallProp. You know, there are no guarantees with anything in life, and there's always somebody out there who says, hey, hold my beer. You just never know. It is going to save you in most cases and prevent damage to both the venue and your backdrop stand. So if you want to have a good event, stand tall, stand strong, get WallProp.